Hey guys, you're watching PhoneArena's in-depth video review on Verizon's version of the Apple iPhone 4. And this is a long time coming for Verizon, but it's finally here. And over the last few months, we slowly started seeing more Apple products grace Verizon's lineup, such as the Apple iPad, and of course, eventually, this device here, the Apple iPhone 4. It's going to go on sale starting February 10th for $200 on contract for the 16GB version, and $300 for the 32GB one. You could also buy it with no contract for $650, 16GB, and of course $750 for the 32GB model. Now this is basically the same design that we saw with the AT&T Apple iPhone 4, except for the fact that it has support for Verizon CDMA network. And on top of that, there is a slight redesign with the antenna, which we'll go into detail a little bit later. In terms of design, the Apple iPhone 4 is still considered, or arguably considered, the best design handset on the market. And also construction-wise, it's just a fantastic model. As we said already, it pretty much retains the same look and style of the AT&T version. You have the glass-like material on the front and the back, sandwiched together with the stainless steel brush band, which is the antenna. And it measures in. It's fairly easy on the hands to hold, not as large as some 4.3-inch devices out there in the market. It comes in at a spectacular 0.37 inches thick, so it's very streamlined, and you're not going to notice it too much in your pockets, but there is a little bit of weight just because of the premium materials that they decide to use. It sizes up at 4.83 ounces, so you definitely notice that weight, but with that, you do get a sense of durability and construction, and overall, it's still a fantastic looking handset. To this day, the Apple iPhone 4's Retina display is definitely one of its biggest highlight and definitely stands top among all other handsets out there. It measures in at 3.5 inches. It has a stunning resolution of 640 by 960 pixels. So when you look at other handsets in the market with WVGA displays, this is still king of the hill just because it offers plenty of detail, very sharp looking visuals. On top of that, it has support for 16.7 million colors, so you have really nice looking colors, very natural, neutral colors, not overly saturated. On top of that, it retains a pretty high level of brightness to it, and it offers pretty good viewing angles. Even at the most extreme viewing, you can still see it perfectly. Outdoors, it does fantastic. It does a great job actually, and you're not going to have any problems using it. It also has the olophobic coating on the front and even on the back to give that clean look every time you take it out of your pockets, and it's definitely one of the biggest highlights about the handset with the Retina display. Beneath the touchscreen, you simply have the physical home button, very easy to press and has a really springy feel to it. Well, on top, you have simply the earpiece and also the 0.3 megapixel VGA front-facing camera. On the left side of the handset, you have the volume rocker, which is separated circular buttons that are pronounced, so they protrude slightly from the handset to give a really nice distinguishable feel, and they offer a really good tactile response. The vibrate switch also on top right there. Furthermore, on the top, you have the 3.5mm headset jack, you have the small pinhole there for the noise cancellation microphone, and you have a really nice dedicated power button, which makes it very easy to press. Conversely, in the bottom side, you have the speaker right here in the bottom right corner. You have the proprietary USB cable connection, and you have the microphone. And finally, on the back, you have the 5-megapixel autofocus camera with the LED flash, and you have the giant Apple logo there. At the heart of the iPhone 4 is none other than the Apple A4 processor, which is still believed to be clocked in at 1 GHz. Now with the processor in check, it makes for some really fluid and responsive elements. As you can tell, just switching between the home screens here, the panels, it's very smooth and quick. And that's basically the unique thing about the iPhone 4 is the fact that everything you do just runs so fast and quickly. There's barely any evidence of any lag or slowdown when you're just accomplishing even the most basic to even complex functions. With Verizon's iPhone 4, it's actually running version 4.2.5 of iOS, which is a newer build compared to the one on AT&T's network. Now, at its core, the user experience is the same. It's still kind of limited when it comes to personalization. It's laid out in a grid-like view, and you have all these icons. You could rearrange them to whatever placement you like, and you could even group them to make folders to make it easier on yourself. At the bottom, you have the carousel. You could also rearrange the icons there as well. So when you move throughout the home screens, it'll consistently stay there. When you swipe to the left, it gives you universal search. So basically, it'll go through things like your contacts, your photos, videos to find relevant search items. For the most part, it's a very simple and easy to use interface, very quick and intuitive, and you're not going to have any problems getting adjusted to it. There's no arguing that the iPhone set the standard for messaging with a touchscreen phone, and to this day, it's one of still the better handsets out there for that. You have the portrait keyboard here. The great thing about it, it's very responsive to the touch and also accurate. We have no problems using it at all. When you switch it to landscape, naturally, it's going to give you a little bit more room, better for your fingers, and still, the messaging experience is such a joy with this handset. In addition, the email experience is fairly top-notch with the iPhone 4 just because it provides HTML email, so a load of pictures and a bunch of different items. Setup is also very easy to do. You have a generic email client you could choose from. Generally, they'll ask for your email address and password and automatically will set up. You also have the option for specific clients. It might require some additional pieces of information, such as server addresses and also ports, but it's fairly simple to do as well. And in addition, with the email, it also provides stuff like threaded view, so you'll know your conversations and all the history with it. Now we'll just show you some of the native applications on the iPhone 4. You have the calendar app, which just like anything else you see on other handsets, you have the ability to view it in month, day, or listing. You could also add an event if you'd like, and it also syncs with your calendars from Gmail and other services as well. You have also stocks here, so it will display the latest stock information. At the bottom here, you could swipe left and right to get additional pieces of information. And you have Google Maps. It works just like anything else out there. It has a location, so it'll show you where you're on the maps and provide directions. Still, though, it doesn't offer a true turn-by-turn navigation. You have the weather app, which shows you the forecast for the next few days, obviously. You could swipe to add additional ones. And let's see what else we got here. You have notes applications. You could do a bunch of different notes just to store there for yourself. And you have also some of the utilities, the clock application, which has the timer. You have the stopwatch, alarm, and also the world clock right there for you at your disposal. Calendar for simple calculations. When you put into landscape, it offers a little bit more. You have the compass too, so if you need to know where you're going, what direction, it has that. You have also voice memos to make a recording. And Game Center, you have also the App Store to download all your apps, and that's pretty much it. As always, the web browsing experience on the iPhone 4 is fantastic just because of the fast processor and the Retina display. Provides some really nice details. You can even read the tiniest of text even. Multi-touch gesture support, which the iPhone 4 made very popular. Very fluid and smooth. You could double tap to a specific area. It'll resize it to fit appropriately. And when you have multiple windows, you could swipe through different ones as well. So it's a fairly great experience. The only thing it's lacking, of course, is flash support, but some people might not care about that. Overall, you're going to have a fantastic web browsing experience on the handset. For anyone who's used an iPhone, you love the iPod application just because it provides that really rich experience when you're browsing through your songs. The bottom, it's broken down to different items. You have your playlist, you have artists, you can search by songs and also videos, and even more for other additional functions like podcasting or audiobooks. But with when you're playing a song, when you go to a specific artist here, we're just going to choose one. It breaks it down to all the different albums they have. So you see also the album cover. When you play a song, it's going to automatically display the album cover, the track information, and even on-screen controls. But the beauty about the iPhone 4 is naturally the cover flow mode, which provides a 3D-like view here, and it's very quick and smooth when you're switching between all of it, and just gives you that nice eye candy look to it. And you could select a song from here. In terms of audio quality, it's still a lot stronger versus previous iPhone 4s. Definitely louder, and it doesn't crack out the loudest setting. We're very pleased with its overall quality. Yet again, the iPhone 4 excels when it comes to playing high-definition video, so if you're into watching movies, you're going to love the iPhone 4, especially the Retina display. It's just so clear, vivid, a lot of color, and it's just a joy to watch videos. No evidence of any stutteriness or slowdown. It's very smooth, quick, and for the most part, it's a great traveling companion. Another useful feature found with Verizon's iPhone 4 right now is the fact that it offers mobile hotspot support similar to their other handsets. Basically, you could share the broadband connection on the iPhone 4 with other Wi-Fi enabled devices, but there is a $20 charge for that functionality. When it comes to taking photos, the iPhone 4 is still up there with the other handsets in terms of photo quality, easily beating out most handsets out there in the market. Now, it has the same 5-megapixel autofocus camera, backside illuminated sensor, which makes for some fantastic photos. Now, with the interface, it's basically the same. Nothing has really changed, aside from the fact that you have now the HDR option right there for high dynamic range photos. You could also turn on, turn off the flash. You could turn on, turn off the HDR if you wanted to. You have also a digital zoom available too at your disposal. You can change it to do front-facing camera, and of course you have the notch right here to switch to video mode, and you have the shutter right there. Now, the trick with the iPhone 4 is finding its touch focus. You got to find the perfect balance when you're taking a shot, because sometimes if you click a specific area, it might make it a little bit more overexposed or even underexposed. But for the most part, we're fairly happy with the photo, especially in outdoor conditions. There's plenty of detail, sharp looking visuals, colors look dead on perfect with the color production. When you use it in low lighting shots indoors, we're very happy to see that the LED flash does a fantastic job. Not that much noise in the shots, but still more than respectable versus other handsets. And truly, the iPhone 4 definitely stands top notch in terms of photo quality. At the same time, the iPhone 4 excels when it comes to taking videos. That's just because it offers 720p video support, and it's probably one of the better handsets out in the market that does a phenomenal job in this aspect. Now, the only thing that's lacking is continuous autofocus, so you got to tap the screen whenever just to get it to focus correctly, but it moves at a stunning frame rate. It's a very smooth recording. On top of that, the audio quality is also pretty good. Not that much static or noise. It's pretty much dead on, and overall we're very happy with the quality presented with 720p on the iPhone 4. With the photo application, I'll actually open up the gallery for you. It breaks down by the albums and also the location where you took the photos. When you go into the camera roll, it's going to break down and show you a grid-like view of all the photos and content that you take in photos and videos. If you select something, you could view each one by swiping left or right. And of course, as you can tell, it's very smooth and fluid, very responsive. You also have multi-touch gesture support to zoom in, zoom out. When you tilt it to landscape, it'll automatically will rotate to present you the best view of the photos. Now, the thing is with this, you can also send it as an email, MMS, or use as wallpaper, and even have the option to print. The only thing that we'd like to see in the future is just the ability to share with various social networking clients like Facebook or Twitter within the core native application here, which Android definitely has a big stance on right now. Aside from that, it works fairly well, and we didn't have much issues with it. When it comes to calling quality, it's a little bit more pleasant experience versus what we found with the iPhone 4 on AT&T. Surprisingly, the earpiece is still more than audible enough, and this time around, there's less static in the background that you can hear. Still a little bit of hint with it, but not that much. For the most part, it's very easy to hear your callers. No problems whatsoever. Very distinctive tones. And the other side of the line, our callers did say our voice did sound also very, very full-bodied. No problems in hearing us. When switched to using the speaker, it does a phenomenal job too, just because there's, again, very little background noise that we notice, and it's very strong and powerful, made it very easy for our callers to hear us. And overall, we're very happy with the calling quality on the Verizon iPhone 4 versus the AT&T one. Surprisingly enough, the Verizon iPhone 4 appears to also be suffering from death grip issues. As we're holding it right now, it has dropped 2 bars. Now it's down to 3. It's not as bad as the AT&T iPhone 4 where we get dropped all the way down to 1, but it does present some issues. So far, we haven't really experienced any noticeable degradation in quality in terms of drop calls or even slowdown in network, but it is kind of alarming just to see that appear on this handset. Yet another thing that we love about the iPhone 4 is the fact that it has phenomenal battery life. Now, we've been using it for the last day and a half already, and still has a little bit less than half battery left, and we're very pleased with the overall level that it presents. And for heavy users out there, you'll be especially surprised. We had it set to automatic brightness all the way to its maximum setting, and we're still able to use it. So you're going to have a fantastic usage. For light users, you're going to have a lot more time to the device, so you're not going to have any problems as far as longevity. So that's pretty much it, guys, for the Verizon Apple iPhone 4. Now, before you go and jump out and get the handset, you got to think about a couple stuff. We're not too far away from seeing the next iPhone being announced. So if you buy it now, chances are you're going to not get the handset at a subsidized cost, and you're going to have to pay full price for it. So you just want to take that into consideration. Aside from that, it doesn't offer the flexibility of the SIM card with the AT&T version, just because it's very easy to swap out one card and put it into a different handset, where with Verizon's devices you got to call them up or go online or even do star 228. Just has a little bit more steps with it. On top of that, you don't have you can't do data and voice at the same time, just because the technology does not allow for it. Aside from that, you're treated to pretty much the same experience with the AT&T version. It's a fantastic device. It's a beautiful, magnificent, very premium device to hold in the hand. And with iOS, it's matured so much since its first inception that it has a lot of new features. Multitasking is enabled. You have a fast processor, fantastic looking display. The Retina display makes everything look just so beautiful. It's a great device for multimedia, for watching videos, playing music. You have CarFlow with the iPod function. And overall, it's just a very well-rounded device for $200 on contract. So if you'd like to learn more about the Verizon Apple iPhone 4, or for all the latest cell phone reviews, news, specs, and information, you can check us out at PhoneArena.com.